All right, let's talk about something that gets so many people twisted up when they're ready to start building wealth. We're going to dive into the work you really need to do before you even think about buying that first stock. So if you're ready to build a rock-solid foundation for your investing future, stick around. You know that feeling, right? It's this wild mix of excitement and, let's be honest, a little bit of panic. You're seeing the headlines, hearing stories about big wins, and you're thinking, I got to get in on this. It feels like this huge, defining moment. But here's the thing. Here's the secret that smart, long-term investors truly live by. The decisions that actually set you up for success, they happen way, way before you ever click that buy button. It's all about the prep work. So let's jump into step 1. And honestly, this is arguably the most critical piece of the puzzle, building your financial safety net. This is the bedrock. You absolutely have to have this in place before you can start building any kind of real, lasting wealth. Now, this number, this is the one that gets everyone's attention, right? Historically, stocks have returned, on average, about 10% a year. It's an absolutely incredible way to grow your money over the long haul. But, and this is a huge but, it is never, ever a straight line. This number is just as real. A 20% drop in a single bad year, it can happen. It does happen. And if you're not ready for it, an unexpected job loss or medical bill could force you to sell at the absolute worst possible time, locking in those losses forever. This right here is your shield against all that chaos. It's your emergency fund. We're talking about a cash reserve, and let me be clear, this is not invested, that covers 3 to 6 months of your core living expenses. And it's so important that this money is just sitting there in a separate, easy-to-access account. Think of it as your financial firewall. It protects you. And when we say essential, what does that really mean? It means the things you absolutely have to pay, no matter what. Your rent or mortgage, food, health insurance, utilities. Just add those up for 1 month, multiply it by at least 3, and boom, that's your target. That's the number that lets you sleep at night. You know, financial expert Prince Dykes just nails it with this quote. Never invest money you might need in the short term. Just let that marinate for a second. Your emergency fund protects your investments from your life, and it protects your life from your investments. It's a two-way street. Okay, so safety net is in place. Check. Let's move on to the second crucial step, which is all about knowing why you're even doing this. It is time to define your goals. I love this metaphor because it's just so perfect. Think about it. If you get in a car with no idea where you're going, how on earth are you supposed to pick the right road? You'll definitely end up somewhere, but it's probably not going to be where you actually wanted to be. And this is where your strategy gets really personal because your timeline changes absolutely everything. Just look at this comparison. If your goal is retirement in, say, 30 years, you've got decades to ride out the market's ups and downs. You can afford to take more risks with stocks to get that higher growth. But if you need that money for a down payment in just 5 years, all that is a totally different ballgame. You cannot risk a huge drop right before you need the cash. Your strategy has to be way more conservative, shifting more towards safer things like bonds. Prince Dykes hits on this perfectly too. It's not just your timeline, it's your own personality. You have to ask yourself, can you actually stomach a 20% drop without freaking out and selling everything? Being honest with yourself about that before you invest a single dollar is so critical for sticking with it. Okay, so you've built the safety net, you've defined your goals. With that foundation solidly in place, now you're finally ready to think about the next phase. Choosing how you're actually gonna start investing. You know, for most beginners, it really boils down to one of these 3 main roads. You can do it yourself with simple, low-cost index funds, which is a fantastic strategy, by the way. You could use a Robo-Advisor that basically puts everything on autopilot for you. Or if you've got a more complicated situation, you might partner up with a human financial advisor. And hey, if you do decide to go that DIY route, this piece of advice from advisor Liz Fraser-Peck is pure gold. Please, don't chase the hype. Don't invest in something just because everyone's talking about it. Stick to broad market funds or businesses that you genuinely understand. It's a simple rule that can save you a world of pain. So let's just pull this all together. Let's talk about the real foundation for building wealth. It's so easy to get obsessed with picking the next hot stock or watching the charts all day, but that is not where the real work happens. This is the big takeaway. Building your emergency fund, figuring out your goals, yeah, it can feel like the boring, unglamorous part of the journey. But these steps, they're not optional. They are the absolute secret to durable, long-term financial success. And I just think this is the most perfect way to think about it. All this prep work, it's the quiet, invisible scaffolding. It's the structure that holds everything else up, that lets all your investments safely grow and compound year after year into the life you actually want to live. So the final question really isn't, what stock should I buy? It's this: once your foundation is secure, what are you going to build? Thanks for joining me.